It has all been coming down to this. Oh my word! What an incredible moment!
Without further ado, let's get brawling! Welcome back, Brawl Stars Nation. It's time to kick off where the monarchy of last year began. East Asia, a force to be reckoned with. Our world champions reside here, and I expect big things from them, Ready.
I absolutely do as well. I mean, look, this has been the past 2 years the home of the World Finals champions. And coming into today, we've seen some roster swaps, some mix-ups and things, and honestly, could be for the better, but I still anticipate we see this year's World Finals champions come from this region. So study up, everyone. Pay attention. Sit back and enjoy the class.
Yeah, it's been a super interesting one to watch as well. This is going to be a very fun region. I think a big year for a lot of these, as world champions have kind of disseminated. They're all a part of different teams. I think it's going to be a real opportunity for them to prove themselves and show exactly what they're made of. East Asia, of course, going to be a world champion winner, like you mentioned last year. A lot of insanely talented player. And, you know, in the NBA, we debate MJ and LeBron. In this region, it's Ten Science at Tompo talk. And right here, we're going to get a look at our bracket. Some very interesting stuff coming into today.
This is true. Crazy Raccoon features, well, the two players you mentioned joining forces. So how will this affect Stetampo's legacy is, I'm sure, the question everyone's asking as they scratch their heads. They will be facing OK in the first semifinal of the day. Next up, it's Guts versus Chazmac Gaming EA. And the winners of those two matches will go head-to-head in the grand finals. Keep in mind, everyone, we're starting off the semifinals here. All those quarterfinals, they were played on the same day as the monthly qualifiers. So we're hopping into really the paramount matches of this region.
Yeah, we get in straight to the action with semifinals. I think they're going to be very heated ones as well. All of these world champions, like we mentioned, disseminated, all going about their separate ways, trying to prove themselves, maybe with some new teammates as well. And of course, many may be wondering, where the heck is Zeta Division? Last year we had 2 teams. This year we have none. Well, of course, those players are going to be scattered across all of these semifinals teams, as a matter of fact. I'm very excited to see what they can do with some different combinations.
Absolutely, same perspective here. All my eyes are, well, all 2 of them are on Crazy Raccoon. And I think this is really the super team, of course. That's my prediction headed into this year of BSC. I'll make my call early. I'll make it now, and we'll see how that matures over the course of the year. And it looks like both of you guys, Uber and Kenny, are on the same train as me, all supporting Crazy Raccoon for that very first matchup. The second semifinal, Uber and I were signed with CMG. But you, Kenny, you're going with Guts here.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in this first one. I will say I think Crazy Raccoon, for a lot of people out there, should be the heavy favorites to come out of this region and also be a world's contender. And I know it's very early on. Anything can happen, but these guys have such a legacy that they've left in Brawl Stars. That semifinal 2, though, I'm not feeling as confident. I'm a little shaky on that. I think CMG EA, of course, have some insane talent as well. I know this is the first time where we kind of divvy as a caster desk, but really with semifinal 2, I think the audience at home can go either way.
I completely agree here. I mean, for a large majority of the audience, you kind of have all of the Tensai supporters, all the Stetampo supporters concentrated on one team, that's Crazy Raccoon. But if we talk Guts and Chazmac, I mean, Chazmac in particular has 2 different members from 2 different teams last year, now joining forces, of course. That's MG and Kuru joining up there.
Kind of divvy as a caster desk, but
2 players at his side that did pretty well last year. I the World Finals, of course, kind of have all of the Tensai supporters, all the Stetampo supporters concentrated on getting ready for our very first semifinal.
Gotta think it's going to be a super fun one to watch too, to see these new teammates play together. And of course, if you want to cast your vote at home, participate in this awesome stream that they put together for us, event.brawlstars.com. I know Reddy is a very, very, very much loving collecting all these pins, all these sprays. He's a collector at heart. It's who he is. And of course, myself, Uber, we're going to be doing the exact same thing. We've already put our predictions. Copy us if you want, or don't. I don't blame you either way. I've definitely been wrong before. But this semifinal number 1, going to be a fun one. I think it's safe to say Crazy Raccoon are going to be the favorites, but look, OK has some great talent here, Reddy.
Absolutely. I mean, if we talk OK right here, that's Milkrio and Dimsy. That's the dynamic duo of this team. And then we also have Suzuku, right? This is formerly Blaze, if you're familiar with that name instead. And Suzuku has had a good number of monthly finals appearances in 2022, 4 in fact, which is a great record. But besides that, not a World Finals appearance like Dempsey or Milkrio. So this is now sort of the X Factor joining up forces with Dempsey and Milkrio. Dempsey, Milkrio, I've said their names 3 times respectively already. They need no introduction. World finalists on Queen Nai in the case of Dempsey. In the case of Milkrio, that's Animal Chanperu and Jupiter back in 2019 and 2020. Definitely a while ago, but I'm all here for the return arc.
Absolutely. I mean, some good chemistry coming in from these guys, of course, with the Taro-Chan Club. They had a lot of success last year. And look, it's hard for any team to have as much success as some of their opponents have had from last year. Crazy Raccoon has some amazing talent. And again, like I said, they have some of what could be argued as the GOATs of Brawl Stars, Tensai, Satampo. Their legacy on this game is insane. 2 of the best mechanical, if not the best in the world. It's one of the reasons I love watching this region so much. But somebody that doesn't get talked about enough, Moya Goku. There are tons of players out there. I've had multiple conversations, different regions as well, that absolutely love this player. They think this team is going to be insane this year, and I totally understand why.
Hey, for me, focal point of Zeta Division 0 had to be Tensai. And then, of course, at his side, you have Stetampo and Moya Goku, 2 teammates on Zeta Division 1 last year, forming a great duo themselves. Now you put these 2 together, what do you get? I can't quite say with certainty, because for a time we'd seen these players play together on a free agents roster called Barcelona, and just a few days ago it was announced that they were playing for Crazy Raccoon. So we've seen a bit of them playing in third-party tournaments. Now it's time to bring it in for the big stage, the BSC, their debut right here and now in the very first semifinal for the East Asia region.
Yeah, Tensai, of course, proving a lot of people wrong last year, including myself. I picked Zeta 1 to win that world final. I think after taking the edge 4-3 in monthly finals, we just kind of expected the safe pick to be Zeta 1, but Zeta 0 and Tensai really proved them otherwise. I think it's an awesome thing to see. Of course, Satampo, an insane mechanical player, a world finalist champion, and also a semifinal, or excuse me, runner-up last year as well. Moya Goku, the same. I mean, this is a nasty combination. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they do here. And I will say, from the Scrim scouting report that I've done on all of these teams, they've been pretty darn dominant. It's hard to beat these guys on any given day, but of course, they're a professional team after all. They have some good experience, and you never know what's going to happen in monthly finals.
No doubt, and part of me also wonders, you know, you have kind of 2 main characters on the same team. You have Stetampo, you have Tensai as well. Do they butt heads at all? Do we ever see any kind of disjointed teamwork between them? Because no doubt everyone's eyes are going to be on this team as they're coming in as a supreme front runner in this region. So we'll just have to wait and see if they're not the absolute dream team that everyone has been hoping for. Of course, their team across, or their enemies across the way, okay, they also comprise a pretty nasty combination themselves. Will they be an appropriate match for Crazy Raccoon is a question of the day, but it seems like a lot of you have answered Crazy Raccoon. 80% as a vast majority going with Crazy Raccoon for the victory in this one.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you bring up. Is OK is still a very talented roster. It's a new year, a new slate. As great as these guys have been in the past, it's not 2022, it's not 2021 anymore. It's a brand new year, which means we get to crown a brand new champion in this sub-region as well. You look, anything can happen. 80 to 20%, I get it. They should be the favorites. On paper, they look great. They've had insane accolades in the past, but I definitely don't want to rule everything out here. OK, locking that pick in instantly. It's going to be Max, and this region is very known for this brawler.
Absolutely, and if I were to point fingers at one player in particular, it would have to be Tensai with that brawler. And OK, sniping up that brawler already. Sure, characteristic of this region as a whole, but also of, yeah, let's not give Tensai the max. Lightning fast draft here, by the way, but it seems like OK are going to take their time with the final one. Spike, now their selection. Let's talk about some of these picks so far. We've seen Imps a little bit so far today, just a good brawler overall, especially on lanes on this map. Colonel Ruff's also going to be able to break open some of those lanes, some of those walls, and also give supply drops to his teammates. Final pick now coming in from Crazy Raccoon. It really could be anything, but it's all about counters. Poco, not necessarily sure what he's going to be countering out here, but he's still a good brawler overall.
Yeah, this may be their mid, to be honest with you. They had to look for something here. If you go with more of that sharpshooter route, Max, of course, going to be able to dodge that. If you go tank, you've got Spike for high DPS, Otis as well. So I think this is more of just a safe pick. And again, this is a region that's really known for playing the IMS a lot more as well. It's something I noticed when doing the scouting report on all these teams. Compared to our home of NA, IMS gets played way more over here as well. A lot more of a diverse brawler pool. And it's so fun to kind of watch how all these different regions bring their own flair to it. I know APAC certainly brings that, especially East Asia has some really interesting brawlers throughout all of these maps that I've seen.